This is the continuation of the video based on the topic nigger. The other video just cut because I was out of memory, but I sorted that out. Yeah, so I'm just gonna continue. So like, you guys heard or you got the idea of the etymological root of the term nigger, but I'm not actually done. I went back to all the European languages, Greek, Persian, Latin and all that. Y'all heard all of that, These same words that have to do with death, violence, murder, and all that. These are the etymological roots of the term that black people use or address each other to or with as nigger. That's where nigger comes from. So you already get the idea that nigger means dead. A nigger is a dead person. The idea behind that, or why black people in America were called niggers, is because they were slaves and they were beaten up to death. They were forced to work on the fields, and most of them worked to death. Most people worked on the fields, they contracted diseases, there were no medication given to them because they were merely just slaves, so the slave master didn't care, so they worked themselves to death. Most of them were killed. The ones who rebelled were killed. So nigger refers to a person who is beaten to death, a person who is dead, Now, in the context that we're using it now, even it develops a deeper meaning, because we as black people, we are mentally dead. We do not realize, we do not see these things that are happening around us. That's what even makes us niggers, to a deeper level, even because we are dead mentally, we are dead spiritually. Spiritually meaning we don't know our cultures, we don't pray. Most black people even don't believe in prayer, don't believe in ancestors, don't believe in the divine. They don't even know that there are divine beings. We are physically dead as well, but not in a literal meaning, in a figurative meaning, in terms of the food that we eat, which makes our organs weak. You know what I'm saying? So like, these things are what makes us niggers, and this is a term that we do not actually put upon ourselves. It is imposed on us by the whites and the offspring, by the slave master, so like, that's where the term nigger comes from, and that's what nigger means. It's a term that is imposed on us. It's not a term that we chose. It was imposed on us, and we just took it from the imposers. We took it as a term that is good. You know what I'm saying? A term that is good for us. We feel like when you say yo nigger, you say it's just like saying yo brother, khaitsedi yaka, puti waka, but that's not the case. So I just want black people to understand that sound is vibration. Sound travels in waves. So whatever you speak, whatever you say to another person, it is actually manifested. It manifests itself on a spiritual, energetic level. In terms of the energy of the word, the meaning of the term. So like, that energy, when you constantly call each other niggers, you are actually invoking that death energy, death vibration. That is why a lot of black people are dying, and it's not black people who are spiritual who are dying. It's people who actually indulge in these things that are imposed on us, including the usage of terms like niggers. You must understand the fact, you must understand, or you must realize that we as black people, we call ourselves, or we address to each other with all these wicked or weird words or derogatory words that we still accept them. We feel like they are good. Even we mokasi re bitsana bo entja oncanja oshapunja njayami njayami, you know, nja. We call ourselves dogs. Yo, dog. You know, even rappers call themselves cats. If you're a good rapper, they call yourself. If you're a good rapper, they call you a ill rap cat. You know, they say you're ill, you're sick, you're a rap cat. They call you a cat. You know, we use all these terms, you know, to address each other. And if you are open-minded enough, you will see that these words are not the right words. We refer to our women as bitches. A bitch is a female dog. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, no man, these words are not okay. They don't arouse or they don't invoke the right energies within us or around us. Everything is energy. Whatever you say, it's gonna come back. It's gonna manifest itself. You know what I'm saying? So like, we need to stop using this term, nigger. We need to stop. We are pleasing the slave master. We are pleasing the imposers who imposed this word on us. We didn't choose this word. It was imposed on us. We just accepted it. Some don't know the meaning. Some don't know the etymological root. That's why I made this video, for the ignorant. For the one who don't know, I want them to know. I want my people to know. I want my people to know that we are kings and queens. We are prophets. You know what I'm saying? We are priests. We are spiritual, divine beings. There are a lot of things that we can actually perform in nature as human beings. Things that are way more, things that transcend the alcohol, the weed, the drugs that we use. There are more complicated and more complex things that we can actually indulge in as human beings, as divine beings that are present in nature. Nature, creation itself, it's divine, you know. So life is divine. So we need to know these things. We need to know who we are. We need to use our own terms. We need to speak our own languages. There's no such word as nigger, mo Setswaneng, mo Zulu, mo Xhoseng, mo Sentebeleng, you know what I'm saying? So like, these words are not our words. They are imposed on us by the slave master. So like, we have to elevate. We have to become negus, not niggers, negus, nejesit. You know what I'm saying? So like, we need to wake up as black people. You know, we need to wake up. We need to seek knowledge. We need to read. You know, not anything. We need to read what is valuable to us, for us, beneficial for us, educational for us as black people. We need to receive the teachings from people who are like us, from other African scholars who are well educated, not white scholars. They will never teach you the right things. Because these people they incarnate the spirits of disorder. They will never seek to give you what you need as a black person. They will never have the intention to elevate you, because these are not our former oppressors. They are still our oppressors. A lot of people say the former oppressor. It's not former. They are still oppressing us up to this day. Since we are so-called free, why don't they expose the information that I'm exposing to you in schools, in colleges, on television? You know what I'm saying? Why? Because they know the things that I'm saying. They just will never give it to you, because they see you as a dead person. They see you as a corpse. You know, they see you as a nigger. You know, a nigger is just nothing. You know, why give this information to a nigger? So that's that type of attitude they have. You know what I'm saying? But they won't show it, of course. They won't. They know we're gonna rebel. They know we're gonna fight back. We are fighters. That's who we are as black people. The thing that makes me sad is that we fight against each other. We don't fight against the oppressor. We don't fight against the enemy. You know what I'm saying? We fight against our own brothers and sisters. So this thing needs to stop, black people. This thing needs to stop. Dintho tsena santse di hele, no. Santse di hele ka jeno, santse di hele. Ga se dilo tse santse re di dire, ga ra tshwanela go digana jaaka batho ba bantsho. Ga ra tshwanela go bonana, ga ra tshwanela go bona motho o mongwe o montsho as motho leng ko tlase. We must see each other as divine beings, as brothers and sisters, But before I even close up, I want to go deeper into the origin of the term. All these European words are just like outlined, like negro, negros, necks, and all that. I want to go back. You must know the Greeks didn't develop their own language. They developed their language from the ancient Kemetic language system or ancient Egyptian language system. The Greeks invaded Egypt like a long time ago in the ancient times. I will speak about the Greeks and the invasion in Egypt like in another video, but back then I'll go more into detail into that in the next video. But back then they invaded ancient Egypt. They stole a lot of things in ancient Egypt. So they developed their language from the language of ancient Egypt, or ancient Egypt is called Kemet, Kamit. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to actually show you where the word negros, negro, neck. Okay, let me just start with the Greek word, or let me just outline the Greek word negros, because all these other words, including Latin, the Persian words, come from the Greek. Let me just show you, or let me just outline this quickly. There's a lot of words in ancient Egypt that have nothing to do with Negesit, but that have very derogative meanings. The word neg, N-E-G, in ancient Kemet or ancient Egypt, which is Kemet, it means to lack something, to want something, to be short of something. When you lack something, you want something. So it means to lack, you know what I'm saying? That's what, that's where the term, wait, neg means to lack something. The word negang means to be lacking something. Negang, or negan means to lack something. The word negaut, it's an ancient Egyptian word meaning what is rubbed or ground down to powder, like mele, you see mele yang, like the powder or the flour that you like flour. You see, flour is like ground into small particles. You know what I'm saying? That's what they mean. Another term for negaut means people or foes who are crushed or beaten to death. So this is actually the primary term where the word negro comes from, since negro means death or dead tissue. comes from niggerhood. That's where the word nigger comes from. People who are crushed or beaten to death. Niggers, slaves in America were beaten to death. Even here in South Africa, Steve Biko was beaten to death. He was treated like a niggerhood. He was treated like a nigger. He was treated like a negro. He was actually made a negro or a dead person. You know what I'm saying? Respect unto the elder Steve Biko. Honor the elder. You should honor him. He played a part in freeing us as South Africans. Nekut, something that is crushed. You know, Negeb means to mourn. Like when someone has passed away, you mourn, or to be afflicted. You can hear all these terms I'm actually outlining are ancient Egyptian terms which are very derogatory, which have to do with death, which have to do with being crushed or being ground, which has to do with being beaten. So I think you guys do get the idea of where I am going with this. All these terms have to do with being beaten, being crushed, you know, even the word negative comes from that. You know what I'm saying? It's anything that is negative. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm trying to make clear to black people out there. You know what I'm saying? Nigger is not the right term to use, you know. So even the ancient Egyptians knew these terms, you know, but they didn't address each other we didn't address each other with these terms. Because in ancient Kemet, you must know, we were divine. People from ancient Egypt were divine. We descended from people from ancient Egypt. Because currently at the moment in Egypt, there's only Arabs and only a small amount of black people. You must ask yourself, where are the ancient black people who lived in Kemet, in ancient Egypt, in the ancient times? We scattered all around the world. We scattered all around the continent. The South didn't have the Tswana, the Zulu and all that. The South only had the Khoi people. The Khoi, the San, the Khoi and the San are the only original people of South Africa. So even we the Batswana, we descended from ancient Egypt. I will speak about this in another video. You know, the connection of the Batswana and the ancient Egyptians. I will also speak about the connection of the Nguni people, which are the Zulus, the Xhosas, the Ndebele and the Swati people, and their connection and their relationship with the Nubians. And I just outlined the fact that the Nubians and the ancient Egyptians were one. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of information that I want to share with you. That is the reason why the show was actually started or established. Afro Sacred Secret Society. You know what I'm saying? So I just want, or I ask you guys to follow